Good morning. It is Wednesday, April 17th, 2024. This is the Nefio SIG2 automation meeting. So let me share the agenda. There we go. So the agenda today, actually, I think Mickey, you added this, an update for NFO onboarding.
Yeah, so early morning, I updated from the onboarding side. And just to let you know that for that track, we could be using the discussion link one.
Okay, yeah. Oh, right. For some reason, I forgot to put that on the list here, but yeah.
So
all right.
So this is
Yeah.
how we usually do it in the other group where we just update. I don't know if that's same for you guys, but we update before the call. And then we just speak.
Okay, well, thank you. Yeah. Did you want to discuss this here at the meeting, at this meeting, or did you want just to update everybody and that's it?
So it's just gonna be like an update for everyone of what's happening.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So when we had the call yesterday, they were just giving the introduction on what's on the board. Stephen was explaining everything. And then, so the main goal, so I was trying to create the tools for the vendors and verify with the free 5G as of right now. And in the future, it might be auto as well. And then I kept it at the bottom action item and follow up. So you can put if there's anything on anyone wants to add wants to look, we can take a look at it.
You mean follow-ups beyond this, or follow-ups to the board
beyond
itself?
beyond what we're doing.
Okay. So we've been really discussing onboarding for a long time and the SDK. Bala, you have your hand up? Go ahead. Bala?
Unmute myself. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. It took a while to unmute. So audio issues today. Sorry. So I think, I was thinking the main agenda for today's meeting would be to decide on the agenda for the Nephew Summit, right? Is that right? Or I was thinking in the SIG release meeting we discussed that, but I did not attend the SIG architecture meeting after that. I don't know, something changed.
Okay. Let me update you. Yeah, I just want to. Sure, Bala. Let's just. So I just want to clarify something about housekeeping here. How this agenda works. Any member is very welcome to add agenda items at any date, right? So I just want to reiterate this for all of you. So Mickey added this agenda item, so we're absolutely, that's fine. And since we didn't add, nobody else added anything else, that means that takes precedence right now. So let's just discuss this issue, and then we'll talk about the Nefio Summit.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Okay, just to let the community, everybody have their opportunity.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, but I will give an update. Yes, go ahead, Mickey. So as we said, you want to ask all of us, I guess, for action items and follow-ups on this, right?
Yeah. So if there's any action items or follow-ups you want ever need to, I'll put it. It's sort of like a similar structure every week. And then if there's any follow-ups, you could just put it at the bottom where you have the question mark.
Okay. This raises maybe the more general question about how we're going to handle all these team updates and what the relationship is to this meeting. And I don't know exactly how to do it. I think last time during the release process, we used the SIG automation meeting basically as a stand-up. I think for a while we had a separate stand-up and then we combined everything into one meeting. So we treated it as a way for all the teams to report what they're doing and have some discussion on it. I don't know if we want to continue this time. And in my opinion, this meeting has value beyond just coordination. This is a really planning and design meeting. I worry about taking, if we have a stand-up where all these teams do an update, that takes the whole meeting, right? And there's no time to discuss moving forward. But maybe while we enter the window of release, maybe that's what we should do. I'm not entirely sure, right? I definitely don't want to add more meetings to our already busy schedule.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was just thinking maybe just the teams could just update and then just on its side we can if there's any like comments or anything, you can always put on its side, and then we'll just go back to how you usually have it.
Okay. All right. Anybody want to?
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. The Jira is there, update, and any PRs are there. Please mention them in the Slack. Obviously, the sub-team meetings are happening. Like for example, onboarding this STK meeting is happening, right? So that is onboarding thing for us. So things can be discussed there in detail for any particular stuff. And then those meetings, let's just not be considered as a SIG meetings now. For example, a lot of URAN, STK, all other meetings are happening. We could discuss the implementation issues there as well. Yeah, let's update via Slack. The GitHub issues are there, and then any particular blockers, any dependencies, etc., we can bring into this meeting where we have a generally higher presence.
I think if we start taking updates at this meeting, it'll take all the time.
It will. The question is if that's a good idea, right?
I don't think it is a good idea at this point.
Yep.
Maybe a way around it is that each team will put a short kind of update line on the agenda, and then so we can be a written kind of report, and that way it'll and we take that at the end of the meeting if there's time. Otherwise, people just, I don't know, the time just vanishes no matter what. I know we tried putting limits on time and stuff, and it always ended up with the meeting gone. Let's see how that. I think let's see how the sub team meetings go for now, and just do a minimal or not no report, but maybe a written 1 or 2 lines on each team on this beforehand. Something like what Mickey has already done would be super, I think.
Wim?
Yeah, I had a bit of a different opinion. I mean, if you look to what they do with SIG network architecture, they give but we have to limit it, right? So there's no, I think it's good to give okay, is there any update? Maybe no, but people that would give the update would have to be really constrained to the amount of time. So you basically, because we have 6 groups, right? Or 7. And one is SIG release, which probably we don't have to cover here, right? So you could basically say you have maximum 5 minutes. And then I think it's manageable, not? Because there will be issues that we'll have to deal with somehow. And so there is no forum on how to, I mean, you can do it on Slack and stuff like that. But I have the feeling that it's good for a number of people to get an update on what's going on. But it should be really constrained to a limited amount of time. And I believe in SIG network architecture, they are doing a good, I think Alexis does a good job in housekeeping to ensure that they don't run over. But that's going to be essential, right? But that's my 2 cents.
Yeah. I would relate that, a little bit to what I pointed out, if there's a very limited time, it's kind of time for you to raise big issues, because if you have some urgent discussion, this is exactly the point you can do it. So, yeah, my opinion is sometimes during stand-ups, people just try to fill in the time and ramble. We don't need that. If there's nothing to update, then it's best to release the time. So, yeah, I think we can try to do that in a time-limited fashion. Vish, go ahead.
Yeah, mine is a very general comment, right? I mean, I think this as what you cannot do asynchronously, you want to do it in these meetings where all the other people are there, right? So the general thing is to use it wisely when everybody is there and not repeat any information where possible, you see, or things that you can do asynchronously. So that's my general comment. I don't know if it helps, but I like the idea of having the updates at least put out there. It can be read, and if anybody has any questions, they can put it in the agenda item and say, hey, can you talk about that update that you might have? We can have a mix of both. In the sense the updates are there before the meeting for people to review, and if they have any questions regarding that, they can ask, and they can put it in the agenda to ask about that. That might be a win-win situation.
That actually sounds pretty good to me. So let's, how about we try this next week? So so this is next week. And what I'm going to do is just put kind of these one-liner here. So taking Liam's idea for next week, I'll just put all of these in. And the idea is that every team lead or somebody on the team will update this before the next meeting, or even on the next meeting, right? I imagine a lot of people don't actually check the agenda until this meeting starts. But since it's just a one-liner, they can just do it live, as soon as they join the meeting. And additionally, what we can do, if there are issues that require discussion, we will raise them in the meeting. So, and I think that the correct way to do that would be to actually add an extra agenda item. So, for example, ORAN. Right, so something like this. Right, so we have all the teams giving an update, like a quick one-liner, two-liner. And then if there's something that needs to be done more, they actually open up a complete agenda item. So it doesn't force people to put them on the spot if there's nothing specific to update, because that's just a waste of time. Hey, what's going on? And they just say, hey, we talked about this, we did that. We can raise an issue if it's necessary. How does that sound? I think I'm trying to combine all the ideas that people gave here.
Yeah, sure. I think I changed the board structure right now.
Yeah, I say, let's try it. If it doesn't work next week. I mean, we're just wrapping up right now, so I think not all the teams might even have something to update, but we can give this a try, see if it works.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, just
All
one thing
right.
I wanted to add.
Yeah.
Any team, right? I mean, any blockers or anything, please don't wait for the meeting. Please let the team know over Slack if you're blocked or something. If you need some information, help, anything. Let's not let's not wait till the meetings. Let's use the Slack effectively and then ask for help.
Agreed. Agreed. By the way, on the Slack issue, I don't know if somebody saw that I posted on Slack. There's we obviously have problems with Slack. When we had a paid account, it was nice. We had all the features. But now that we're not paid, we lost so much. Like the entire organization of channels into sub-channels disappeared. We don't have chat history, which I think is the worst thing. I've been looking at another chat system called, why am I blanking on it? Zulip? Zulip, yeah. I don't know if people had a chance to look at it, but I've seen it used by a bunch of open source projects. it's another one of these Slack clones that have been out there and haven't really gained traction. Here, I'll put a link in the chat here, but this one is actually gaining traction. There are a few open source projects, big ones, that are using it. It is open source, so potentially Linux Foundation can host it themselves, but also, if you can use their hosted, if you are an open source project, you get basically the equivalent of a paid account. So you get all the features. So I don't know if other people would like to give it a look, see if it can suit our needs. I think it would. It seems to be exactly identical to Slack, as far as I can tell. Yeah, then we won't be dependent on this. Yeah, no effects. Yeah, you're right. Okay. Anyway, just giving a plug. Fish, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, while I like that idea, I still would encourage, where for technical discussions or anything, if we can all start using GitHub discussions and discussing in the issue itself, the issue that we open, that'll be good for folks 6 months down the line joining the community. They can actually go there and look at it, and in PRs and stuff like that. This can be more like, any discussions that we have can be very should not be content that somebody has to search, and that search has to happen in either on our GitHub issues or in our GitHub discussions, is what I feel.
Without a doubt, I agree. I would say, though, Slack is a good place just to promote a discussion if it's urgent and needs something, so you can call people to look at it. But I definitely agree. That's where things get recorded, and it's also more fair with time zones and everything.
Exactly. Yep.
I mentioned this before, but I'm a committer in the Apache Software Foundation, ASF, and they have a completely radical approach to discussion. They disallow Slack and disallow actual meetings. Everything they do has to be asynchronous. So all projects in Apache have to use email for communication. They have some other tools, right? Like Jira, or sorry, they use something else there. But the idea is that no time zone should be preferred, and also people who feel more confident about in meetings also don't get preference. So it kind of levels the playing field, at least attempts to. But that's a very radical approach.
And it has worked, I guess. For example, OpenStack meetings used to be meetings set for an hour, but they were not Gmeet meetings or any meetings. They were on IRC. People were typing away. So it has worked. So I wouldn't say it has not worked. So yeah, correct.
Yeah. I think we've fallen into a combination of things, but I agree with you. I wish we would take more stuff to GitHub discussions. But, we combine this meeting as well. Sometimes those discussions can go on and on. There's a lot of benefit to, I think, this meeting where we can talk things through. Although I keep reminding myself that not everybody is confident about speaking here for various reasons. So I don't want to say that this meeting is definitive, right? If we reach some sort of agreement here, that doesn't necessarily mean that the whole community reached an agreement here. Not everybody was present, and not everybody felt comfortable maybe to speak up. So I try to be careful with that.
That's very good points, Tal, for bringing that up. Good. I'm glad you're bringing it up.
Yeah. It's an ongoing issue, right? And it's something I did learn from the Apache Software Foundation, which they put that front and center. And on that note, we're going to talk now. If it's okay, if somebody wants to add something, go ahead, or I'll give an update on where we are on the Nephio Summit plans. So let me fish up the document from Alexei that we did during the SIG1 meeting. It is under our G drive under events, but I will open it up right now here. Okay.
I sent it in the chat as well, Tal.
Oh, thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, and this is me doing a bold pass at building an agenda, but please, off we go. I mean, let's do whatever.
Yeah.
Thanks,
This change this week.
thanks, Alexi, for doing this. Just prior to that meeting, the SIG release, okay, I'll tell you the genesis of me putting the message today. In the SIG release meeting that just happened prior to the SIG architecture, which I could not attend for a conflict I had internally. We discussed that if you see the SIG automation the agenda link, there were quite a few topics that we discussed, and what we discussed in the SIG release meeting was today we will throw it open to all the members here. Then we'll take the vote, and based on the vote, we'll discuss what we need to discuss in that meeting. So rather than presentations, we wanted it to be a purely discussion among the communities in terms of the pains or the most priority items that we need to discuss for R3 and beyond. So that was the genesis of me putting the message today in the chat. Go ahead, Alex.
And yeah, Tal, so yeah, it looks radically different, but 100% of the content is from, the minutes of your call, right?
Yeah.
So I tried to break things down left and right the best I could. It might not be a good breakdown. That's why I said, don't take this for granted. It's just I took a first stab at trying to organize all the topics that the team came up with into various into the way the sessions are broken down in the current agenda. So that's what I did. Now everything could be scrapped and made different. That's the suggestion that I'll leave up for folks, but that's why I want to say. But all the content ultimately is here.
Yeah, I'm seeing that now. I think I was a little confused because the title seemed to come from the old agenda structure.
Yeah, it is 100% the agenda structure from the wiki page. 100%.
I see. So I want to point out that we don't have to keep that structure at all. And I wonder if we should. For example, a lot of these things are titled presentations. I think thinking of them more about whiteboarding sessions, discussions, panels. I don't know, some other name for them, but
100% agree.
Yeah. So you know what? Let's see. No hands are up. Let's spend the next half of this meeting just on this. I think we really need to finalize this today. So, Alexi, do you want to take the lead and kind of go through these one by one, and we can discuss?
Yeah, happy to do so.
Thank you.
So I tried to mimic the agenda. Do you want me to share my screen or?
Yeah, you know what? We yeah, absolutely. If you're taking the lead, thanks.
All right, let me share.
And we can edit it together live.
Yeah, but FYI, I just received some requests as well from other folks, right, regarding maybe introducing a CNTI, like the continuous testing stuff that is also happening in LFN. So, I mean, it's fluid agenda, just be aware. But so what I tried doing, me being a bit ignorant, I went here, I looked at the various topics here, and that's why I transposed here. So we still need to find some speakers. So if there is any new organization joining Nefio that'd like to speak about how they could contribute or their view of Nefio, whatever, I think there is a slot for that. We have one slot for Silva, which is pretty cool. And I think one slot is going to be filled up by a Gen AI company that Sana is working on. Then for SIG1, we had something called SIG1 presentation, but it could be just a welcome to Nefio, where we would introduce Nefio and we would present the R3 scope. The R3 scope would be presented in the following format. Maybe in this call, some of you haven't seen this, but in SIG1, we've been trying to come up with an initial draft of R3 priorities, which is that one. I'm not going to go over it, but this is the intent to talk about this a little bit, just to share where we're going. Then the bird of feather session would be architecture review, release planning process review, and then modeling review. So all in all, that first hour here would be, welcome to Nefio. This is what we have today, and this is what we're planning. This is how we're planning the work, and what is in the pipe for R3. That's pretty much the overall for these two kind of topics or presentations. Maybe it's already too much because that's just 1 hour block. And if you ask me, it would be just one block instead of two.
Yeah, let me raise my hand. So actually, Alexei, I think the first, I think according to me, that is a combination of SIG 1 and SIG 3 is what I feel. But that's why it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
As I said, I just took the structure in the agenda here.
Yeah.
I don't feel for me, this is just a title. This is not the entity owning.
Got it.
So we could do something like this. Welcome to Nefio, and that would be the first presentation for 1 hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good. Yeah.
I don't know.
I like that one better. Yeah.
So, Isti, you had your hand up for a second, or change your mind?
I just have a quick question. I missed at the beginning. Is this agenda for 1 day, for Thursday, or for 2? For Thursday and Friday?
For Thursday.
Yeah, just
this
for 1
is
day.
Actually, yeah, for the Nefio day on Thursday. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
And we might also take some time on Friday for individual sessions, but I'm honestly very skeptical that will happen. I think many people won't be there. So about the titles, to give you a little history of the structure. I mean, Kandan just came up with it very early on, and he just he just threw that together. It's kind of what guided the structure in the previous meetings. But again, we don't have to follow that at all with these titles. So I would really suggest removing the SIG things, right? We're at a point of maturity in the project, I think, where we're all really collaborating and working together. These are not separate SIGs, each working separately, right? That's my opinion. Second thing is more of a question, right? I feel that we've beyond the stage of needing to do an introduction to Nefio. I think people who will be coming here, they'll want to learn about Nefio, but they can learn just by going through this whole day, or they can go to the website, or if they've come to ONES, there's going to be like 10 talks about Nefio. I don't think we need to introduce Nefio anymore, especially not in this context. I think it's the time is better served doing other things. Anybody agree?
Yeah, makes sense. Maybe just one slide at least that we can do as a part of the RX scope, just before the RX scope, just one slide, not more than that. And then we can point to the other things, not to spend more than 2 minutes. I agree with you, Tom.
Sure, yeah. I imagine, again, all these talks about Nefio during ONES will probably have a first slide, what is Nefio, what is the topic, right? So anybody who has
So essentially what we would say there is probably one slide saying, if you want to learn more, go here. That's all. Yeah.
Yes, or talk to me after this presentation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Vish, go ahead.
Yeah, or maybe instead of introduction to Nefio, I mean, there is this thing I feel like, getting started on Nefio, how to get started on Nefio for folks who wants to get started on Nefio. That might be a better topic is what I feel. Does it make sense?
Not.
How do you get people started on Nefio in the sense, like, who was interested? So something to that effect.
I think that should be there in the wiki or GitHub. Otherwise, it will take 10 minutes if you just want to talk about it there.
No, it could be just a slide with links.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Okay.
But I really want to spend this team time. Oh, go ahead, Tal.
Yeah, I'm thinking that the name of the session, instead of Welcome to Nefio, is like Welcome to this day, introduction to this kind of welcome to the Nefio Summit. So maybe spend this time kind of putting context for this whole day. So yeah, what is Nefio? Wim pointed out in the chat, we can give an update on all the teams and subgroups, etc. So, and I think this already kind of fulfills the role of, how to contribute. So people get a sense of the structure and understand which sub-project they would want to pursue if they're new to it. So yeah, kind of. So this maybe hour or half hour can be just state of the union, kind of what we're doing right now and all the sub projects. And I think it already kind of answers people's questions about where to go if they want to contribute or ask questions, right?
All right. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I like it. Yeah, I really like it. And the flows comes in better now, actually, with this introduction, then the projects. Then I wouldn't go in the scope directly. I would finish with the scope, probably here. So then we present, then we go the architecture, how we do realist planning, how we a little bit of the modeling, then R3 scope, and then welcoming people to join the boat.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
I think maybe slides for this should be really together, right? Basically, every sub-project can add their own slide here, and whoever's presenting this can just go through all of them. So again, I'll remind us of anything that's a presentation. We're going to be limited to 2 people unless we can have non-male presenters join as well. Then we can add more. Otherwise, only 2. And since we have almost no women involved in the project, so I would say that our de facto limit is 2 people for presenters. But everybody can add their slides. Yeah.
For this one, I would definitely suggest Sana, maybe Tal and Bala, the SIG lead. And who's leading security is Raul.
Yeah.
I don't know if you said 2 male.
Not a bad idea.
I think
I will say 6 chairs basically.
Sure, we have co-chairs too, but it could really be everybody. That's true.
All right.
Sanai is there that opens the door. Yeah, but I will say we'll just be representing the community here. So I hope the slides will be created collaboratively. That is, every lead of sub-project would be able to add content to this. And we'll just be representing the community, if that makes sense.
I also suggest that the chairs go pick some other folks outside in the community and get them to co-present with you. That's one good way. You as chairs have established yourself. Try to get others also in where possible to co-present with you.
Well, look, let's get through the agenda. We'll define the who later. I'm not too worried about the who, honestly.
Yeah,
I'm more worried about the agenda itself. So.
Yeah, the real presentations come after this. Yeah, let's worry about that.
And as for the slides, I agree with you, Tal. But let's firm up maybe the agenda and get back on the who's and the what in a few minutes, because time is flying. And I want to get into the topics that these teams submitted, which are mostly these ones. And I don't know, they were grouped in some shape and form. Should I just get the grouping back? Else I tried to group them in some shape and form that I thought was also interesting. But this is more about, for instance, this one is really more about release and testing. How do we test? That's pretty much the session here.
Right. I just a quick note, maybe instead of presentation, just rename all of those to discussion and see how it works. We can always change it back.
Yeah, absolutely. The title is a play. No, sorry.
I think somebody mentioned in the SIG architecture meeting that birds of a feather could be useful. I think Sana said that. So maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. Personally, I always thought it was a strange name, birds of a feather.
Isn't it same as discussions, right? Birds of a feather is same as discussion, isn't it?
Well, it's a good question what birds of a feather means. I always thought it would be more of an external thing, people outside the community an opportunity to come around a specific topic. But I'm okay removing that entirely. But I think Sana said that could be useful. She has an idea, maybe, for example, Gen AI companies or something like that. I don't know.
Okay. Well, let's not mind the name of the title of the session. I think
Okay.
the way I grouped it is one discussion more about the general point, like engineering, architect-oriented brainstorming discussion. Not divide session into. I don't know what that means. I'm confused.
Yeah, it's
But I had
basically
one.
just the way you're doing the right thing. Alexei, go ahead.
Oh, but so that's not topic for a discussion. That's more the how to do this.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't care. All right. Well, okay, let me get to this one. Okay, this one is clear. Open discussion on porch. We have Liam, we have Isti. That's tangible, that's tactical. So I think we should get that. And so
Yeah.
instead of bird of a feather, we could call it porch evolution.
Porch. Yes. Awesome.
Or platform evolution, maybe.
Yeah, I like platform evolution because that way we can keep the Nefio SDK topic. Isti?
Just one very short comment, and I think Liam will agree that we don't have to divide it to short-term and long-term separate sessions. Let's discuss the future of Porch, and let's see on the fly all the topics that will come up, we can discuss. I think, Liam, do you agree?
That's super. Yeah, that's perfect with me. Yeah, and maybe we can put, if you're there a day or two before, we can put one or two kind of slides together to prompt some
Yes.
discussion. Yeah.
Yes.
All right,
Perfect.
sweet. So I captured you as the folks that will talk about this topic.
I would
then
like
think-
to add myself too, if there's room. But
Well-
yeah, we're limited to 2 presenters, so. But
Tal, to be honest with you, let's not be limited. This is not a formal. This is not a formal LFN thing that we're doing, right? I mean, if there will be more presenters, more talkers, let's be open in this one, because this is not.
Well, it's more importantly, yeah. What I'm thinking, and sorry I'm interrupting, but this is going to be a big discussion. So we could even have 2 sessions on Porch.
Yeah. Yes. And I want to add that I really want this to be an open discussion. So Liam and we will prepare some provocative questions to start the discussion, but definitely I expect a lot of people to contribute and present even here. So it definitely, I do not think about this, that Liam and myself, we will take the stage and tell you what will Porch look like in a year. So that is definitely not how I envision it.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's just to prompt discussion. Yeah.
Right.
Yes,
right.
exactly.
We'll call these people facilitators rather than presenters. Bala, I just want to point out the rules come not from LFN, but from Linux Foundation itself for all their events. So this includes the DNTF. And yeah, there's just nothing we can do about it. It's something we.
But Tal, this is a discussion, right? Let's not put artificial barriers. This is not, we are not presenting or anything. We are just discussing. If you want, I mean, the point I'm making.
I think their point was having people on stage, but we can read the rules more directly. It's not us putting these restrictions. It's Linux Foundation and us being part of Linux Foundation. So we can take a closer look to see if that fits. But from what I understand from previous discussions on this, you can't have more than 2 people on stage. Basically organizing it if it's not and I think this even includes panels, right? So it's not just
but isn't it a developer forum?
But
this
hey,
is not a conference.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry, gents. 15 minutes remaining for the agenda to be finalized. So the who presents, and we can figure that out.
Right.
Again, I'm not too worried. I'm a bit anxious about the agenda. And because there are a few things that so this one I clearly understand. Oral integration lesson learned, real world challenges and use cases. I think this will come from Sagar and Sana. So that I understand. And that is something that I think is a good kind of a bird of a feather, maybe. Although I'm like you, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I think one more thing, Alexei, probably you should separate STK from this thing, because Porch itself is such a long topic. I think probably we should separate STK from Porch.
So do we have something good enough for onboarding, like an overall onboarding kind of a topic? Do we believe we have enough meat or enough content to have a user experience kind of topic?
Stephen on the call.
No,
so
it's not there.
I want to point out, I don't know who the user here is exactly that you meant, but we have two onboarding things we need to think about, network function onboarding and cloud onboarding, cloud platform onboarding. So the two kinds of vendors, so cloud platform will go into infrastructure and, tooling. So integration with other automation systems that might come with that cloud. And of course, network function includes Helm support and SDK and operators and all that, right? And services provided by Nefio, eventually like some sort of network management or intercluster connectivity, things that we've discussed. So an SDK would potentially do all of these things, right?
Oh, okay. Even the cloud platform?
I think so. In the scope of the SDK, this is a potential, I want to add.
Let's keep it as is.
Okay.
Let's
Sure. Yeah, I think
format.
this can easily fill an hour. Even if we don't have the meat quite there, I think the community will have something to say.
Okay. Okay, that's good. I like it. Then something about testing.
So I am trying to get hold of Victor, Alexei. He was interested in this one. I do not have a commitment yet because he's out for a different conference, but I slacked him, waiting for his response. I was hoping that he could lead these discussions, him or Rado. I'm not even sure if Rado is traveling. So I have messaged both Rado and Victor at this point of time to hear from them. For example, Victor had an idea of how we can do the testing in a cloud native way using Kubernetes operators themselves. He wanted to discuss about that. Then we also discussed about some other framework, the widely used frameworks such as Robot or something else. So I'm waiting for a response. In the meanwhile, anybody here, if you also want to participate and lead the discussions, please let us know. So this is the participation is TBD, Alexei, at this point of time. From my side, I pinged Victor and Rado. Anybody else here who wants to participate or lead, please chip in as well.
That's okay. Yeah, we'll figure out the people. But I think from a topic standpoint, I think this is good.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a couple of us can go on a roll on these topics, even if we don't have enough, if we don't have the right people. So I'm not worried about filling in the time. Okay, but I think that's a good topic, and probably should it be an hour kind of topic?
I say about how much time. Let's go through the whole list and then see how every topic can easily fill in an hour, if not more. So we'll have to prioritize, I think.
You're right.
We have a complete list, right?
Let me put 30 minutes.
Sure.
For the sake of it, let me put 45 minutes here. We need to account for breaks because I don't think there's any break here. There's just a lunch break. I mean, between 1 and 5, trust me, I'll have one break.
Breaks are for weak people. We don't need breaks.
That's okay. I'm fine being weak. All right, let me do it like this. Okay, so bird of a feather. This one is more about is it lesson learned? Is it feedback from trials? I don't know. We can keep it like this. Oh, this one I really like. So security. We don't have Raul on the call, but that's really about security. We can with Raul. Maybe even 45 minutes. I think that's a good one. What do you folks think?
Yeah, I think we should definitely reserve time. I think it's great. Yeah.
And then I don't know what was so you had that mini hackathon, port issue, me super quick use case POC, short and optimized stage time.
So
I don't know, you
Fiacre
had that
actually
bucket of
suggested,
components.
actually, just to give a background on that note from the SIG automation agenda notes, Alexei, actually, Fiacre actually suggested how about having mini hackathons on that day. So that's why we just put in those as possible items too.
But so where or how would you fit a hackathon in there? Who's going to provide the infra? What kind of hackathon?
Yeah, I think it may be a bit.
I think
Fiacre,
it's pretty cool.
I also sorry to chip in, but I also don't remember mentioning suggesting a mini hackathon. Sorry, Bala. Maybe it was somebody else. Apologies.
It's not you, man. Did I put you onto the
No,
bus?
sorry. Yeah, I don't recall that. No.
Who suggested that? Yeah, who
I don't
suggested
know.
that?
Well, it doesn't matter. Honestly, this is a good idea, but I don't think it's doable for that one day. Where
we have done this in the past, right? So, but
okay,
it was very hard to put together. You know, people bringing laptops, providing cloud space. It takes time to do. Stephen, you were involved in that previously. Do you think it's something we'd be able to pull together again? Oh, I see Stephen is not on the call. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I would love for this to happen. It might be just hard to put together unless somebody here would like to take the lead on that and do something.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not volunteering you for a minute to take the lead here. No, but
yeah, just that.
I guess HDMI sessions now had some time scheduled on the Friday morning, so I noticed there'd be a free room there for that now that we could use. So that if anybody's still around on the Friday, we could kind of do a kind of a session. We could do maybe have some time there, you know.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I agree with Friday. That is what I wanted to suggest. But regarding the organization, so can we do it in a lightweight manner that everybody brings us the laptop? We do not provide any cloud space, but we provide some knowledge, prepare some page on how to prepare a Porsche development environment on your laptop. And then we don't have to work on the same issues. People in pairs or even in single people can pick an issue and fix it or add the feature to either Capt or Porsche.
Yeah, precisely.
As long as you're running Linux, we can do that. All right, absolutely.
Okay. Actually, this Windows subsystem for Linux VSL, WSL.
Okay, that'll work too. Yeah.
It works quite well for Porsche development.
So had I heard Liam and Isti, you want to animate the session?
Yeah, well, we'll. I guess Isti, myself, maybe and Fikra, we can. We can do this on the maybe on the Friday, because I think the time will run out on the Thursday with the technical discussions. If for whoever's there. Yeah.
Liam, I will contact you. I can definitely prepare some issues that I can propose to work on, a list of issues so that people can pick from. And I think that the three of us can prepare something regarding the setting up the Porsche development environment, because that is something that I'm not experienced in.
Yeah, I did a tutorial on that, which kind of works for me. I just put a link to it there in the chat, so we could use that as a starting point. Yeah.
Perfect. Sounds perfect.
Cool. That's pretty cool. Thank you, guys. That's awesome. I'm not sure about this one. What was meant by prioritizing use cases and limited POCs?
So I think I'm not sure.
I think it was more of a scoping design R3 plus kind of brainstorming session, but yeah, if we don't understand it, we can definitely remove it.
Okay, so because what we could do is we could move all the release planning process stuff from here and put it here. And actually, it's going to make the first session a bit more breathable, and we're going to be able to dive a bit more into the architecture itself. And that one would be more about then the release overview, or releases overview.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I don't know what people
Or a
think.
roadmap, maybe release roadmap, or just roadmap.
Yeah. Roadmap is good. Anything would be fine. It would be more of a release kind of a discussion, right? So we'll have Bala probably priming this. Bala, I'm putting you on the spot. Is it okay?
Yeah.
And I'm happy to prime it with you, of course. I mean,
yeah, that's what I was going to suggest, because a lot of the scoping comes from the use cases generated by SIG1.
Yeah, that's
and
good.
all 62 people can take a break here and go get some lunch or something. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
that's okay. That's the right time to take a break, because then when they come back, they know what window.
Yeah, exactly.
I prefer us not debating. I prefer us not debating on what to work on and just everybody agree with me. But all right, look, I think it's getting there, right? So welcome to Nefio Summit. Talk about the releases, talk about platform evolution, talk about the onboarding, CI/CD, CT processes, a little bit of a bird of a feather. So we'll have a telco and we'll have an NEP talking, then security in Nefio, and it's going to leave us probably a little bit of time, but I'm expecting the 30-minute remaining, or rather the 50-minute remaining, will be, let's see, we could have at least one break, like one 15-minute break somewhere in the middle.
So actually, before I forget, on the CI/CD CD stuff, can you please add Fiacre to Fiacre? I think probably, I hope you can do the GitHub Actions versus Pro a little bit.
Yeah, I'll chat with Victor maybe to see and Rado to see what their plan is. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Do we know are Victor and Rado traveling?
I am trying to ping him. I did not get a response at Fiacre. He's in a different conference this week. He's in Seattle. Yeah.
Okay, but just to note, like my domain is not test and release. Just to note. But
No,
yeah,
I was hoping you could do the GitHub Actions thing that you.
Sure.
That,
sure, we can have a look at it.
Yeah. And then if Victor comes, probably he can do this testing part. Yeah.
Okay.
We have too much, because we have a total of 8 times 30 minutes. We have a total of 4 hours to fill in. Right now we have too much. So here is 1 hour. Here is 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. So let's do the Welcome to Nefio Summit. Yeah, it's becoming a bit of a. We have slightly too much. We have like almost 1 hour too much.
Yeah, so maybe this Welcome to Nefio could be 30 minutes, maybe just a quick overview.
Yeah, I think that's good. So that's 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hour, 4 hour. Yeah, we still maybe onboarding can be just 30 minutes, and the platform evolution is a full hour, like a full 15 minutes, 50 minutes.
Yeah.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So there's actually
7,
an open
8.
question. If you scroll up, we left room for invited speakers, but we don't have them yet. So if those slots dry up, we can move things up and get more time for other things. I don't know.
I know Sana has eagerness to do one demo.
Right.
She's been running with us and some other partners. I don't know if we want that to be here. I don't even know if that demo is going to be happening. So I think it's good. Like the way it is right now, I think we're in a good shape. because we have a little bit of a leeway with these invited speaker kind of sessions. That way,
Yeah.
you know, if one gets killed, then only thing we get is time for breaks. so
that's true. Yeah.
so you know, 8:30 to 12. I mean, we'll have a break. So I would keep things as is, and I would ask probably the TSC guys to look into this and firm it up.
I would
I don't
say
know.
also, let's bounce it back to, so Monday, we're going to have SIG 1 and SIG 3 meetings. Let's share this document, again, advertise it for people to give feedback. I don't want, again, going back to what I said before, I don't want us all just to decide here, people who are at this meeting. I'm sure there are a lot of SIG 1 folk who also would have something to say about this. So let's get feedback from others, and let's try to maybe finalize it on Monday in the SIG architecture meeting.
Yep, agreed.
I mean, I'm happy with this
I'm,
as a draft, but yeah.
I'm speaking on behalf of SIG1. They're happy with this agenda.
Okay, great.
All right. I gotta go. Can you distribute this now, or you want me to do so?
Sure, no problem. Yeah, I'll remind everybody on Slack to take a look.
Okay, thank you very much. I gotta run
Thanks,
now.
Alexei. Thanks for doing this. Thanks, Tal.
Yeah,
Tal.
thanks everybody.
Yeah.
Have a good rest of your week.
Yeah.
Bye all.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah.